Hey, you guys. Hey. Okay, so this is another prophetic dream. This is another prophetic dream that God wanted me to reshare. He put this one in front of me. He literally put it right in front of me. I listened to it. I know it's for somebody, and it's for somebody right now. Okay, but also this dream will continue to be in season throughout July and for some people the fall, but I really need to reshare it now because it's for some people right now for sure. Okay. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to this dream. This one is called Heartbreak and Exposure. Heartbreak and Exposure. Hold on, you guys. It's called Heartbreak and Exposure. Now they're awake and everything is out in the open. Okay. This prophetic dream is called Heartbreak and Exposure. Now they're awake and everything's out in the open. Okay. And this is like a kingdom marriage dream, so to speak, but it's also for prodigals. Anybody expecting a prodigal, whether that's a prodigal spouse or a prodigal child or family or relatives, people you've been praying for who they've kind of been in the dark, for some time, and God has led you to cover them in prayer, okay? And this dream also deals with exposure as well. All right. All right, you guys, I love y'all so much. I'm going to let y'all listen to the dream. There are like a few notes God gave me while I was listening to it. So I'm just going to add that at the end of the dream. Okay. All right, y'all. Love y'all. And here's the dream. Hey, y'all. Hey. Okay. So I need to share a prophetic dream with you guys. And I literally just had this dream on March the 20th of 2024. So I just had it on Wednesday. And I normally don't share dreams this soon, but God showed me this one is in season and he wanted me to go ahead and release it right now so you all can prepare. Y'all can be prepared. He likes to update us on things that are happening as they occur as well. So y'all bear with me. I have my notebook right here, so I'm going to be looking at that because I'm trying not to miss nothing. And I don't like to share dreams this soon because I want to make sure I have all the revelation that God has given me. So this is like super fresh and I don't want to leave out nothing. But anyways, I'm going to jump right in there. My prayer is that God will guide you to apply this to the different areas in your life that is for, okay? This one is titled Heartbreak and Exposure, okay? Heartbreak and Exposure. Now they're awake and everything's out in the open, okay? Immediately after I had this dream and I recorded it in my dream log, I knew what God was saying, and it was pertaining to prodigals, right? God has been talking a lot about prodigals because he's bringing the prodigals home. This can be your prodigal children. This can be a prodigal spouse. These people are prodigals because they left their relationship with God. They, a lot of them ran from God. They ran from their purpose. At some point or time or another, they experienced God. They have experienced him, but they saw things in the world that they wanted more, right? And now they are coming to themselves, okay? So I'm going to jump right into the dream. So this dream takes place in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen of my old home. This is the home I grew up in, right? As a child, right? So I'm in the kitchen of my old home, and this woman walks in, and I recognize her. She comes through the back door, and I recognize her immediately because I follow her. I actually follow her page. She's one of the prophetic voices that God actually led me to follow. And so I recognize her off the back. She comes directly in my kitchen to where I am, and she starts talking to me. And we talking and we hit it off, we talking about different things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's actually here, right? Now, she doesn't know that I follow her. And I was debating if I should let her know, that I know who she is. And the thing is, I had questions I wanted to ask her. And it was some things I wanted to share with her that were very personal, and I couldn't trust to share them with just anybody, right? I couldn't afford to share this with the wrong person. But I knew she was a woman of God because God confirmed it to me twice, and I knew I could trust her with some of the things God has showed me, okay? And I could trust the answers that she would give me as well, okay? So I'm debating if I should share these things with her or not. And then I said, I'm going to tell her. So I let her know that I recognize her. I actually follow her channel. And it was some things I wanted to ask her. And she's like, okay, cool. And so right before I was about to ask her my first question and began to share these things with her, right? Her eyes changed, right? Her the white parts of her eyes went black. They went like grayish, then they went black to where all her eyes were black. Like you see the white part of my eyes, they just went black. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I'm about to ask my first question and share my first thing with her, and we're like face to face, standing right in front of each other, and I'm like, her eyes turned black. They turned dark. And so I stopped before I even started, right? And I took some steps away from her, and I started to, put space between me and her. And we were still in the kitchen, but I just put space between us because I was like, your eyes turning black or whatever, right? Okay, so I walk away from her. I put some distance between us, and I'm trying to figure out why would her eyes be turning black. They were white when she came in, and now they were turning black. And I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because this particular person, I know she talks about dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare, and she's had people who have done different witchcraft attacks on her. And I thought to myself, giving her the benefit of the doubt, maybe this is from one of the attacks she's experienced why her eyes are turning black. So I put space between me and her. We still talking, but I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt of why her eyes just went black like that. Maybe they attacking her. I could sense, I could, in my dreams, y'all, I could hear people's thoughts a lot. And I could hear their thoughts and their feelings a lot. So I know when someone's lying to me. And even if I don't realize it in a dream, I always know when I wake up. And so I knew that she was having a hard time controlling it. She was trying to get her eyes to go back to normal. And it was almost like I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, making up an excuse for her, right? For why that darkness was in her eyes all of a sudden. And she was agreeing with the excuse, like, yeah, the witchcraft attacks. And she's trying to get them to go back to normal, right? She's trying to hide her face a little bit. And so then after that, I make my way back to her. And now we're standing face to face again, okay? And her eyes are back to normal. But that was just a little odd to me. So I still hesitate before sharing the information I was about to share with her, right? Because this information I can't just share with anyone, right? I had to be extremely careful who I shared this with. And so before I share with her, I figured let me ask her some questions. And I start asking her questions like, how did she know to come find me? I asked her, how did you know to come find me? And did God send you? Did he tell you where I would be? Like, I start asking her, so who sent you? That's what I said. I said, who sent you? How did you know I would be here? How did you know I would be here at this time? So I even asked her, how did she know to come through my back door? Okay. There's a back door to our kitchen, right? She came through the back door. I said, how did you know? Who told you to come this way? Right? So I start asking her questions only a person who was awake would ask, okay? These are not questions you ask in a dream. When people pop up in your dreams, you just kind of flow with it. When things happen in your dreams, you just kind of flow with it. I'm asking extremely logical questions I would only ask if I was awake, okay? Like if somebody just walked in your house, how you get in here? Those types of questions, you know what I mean? So anyways, as I'm recording this dream, I hear it immediately, and Holy Spirit shows me immediately. I'm asking questions only a woke person would ask. And that's where he said they're awake. Okay, they're awake now. And they're asking all the right questions. Okay, she could not answer the questions I was asking her. She couldn't answer them. So mind you, I just went back and stood right back in front of her and closed up the distance. And now when I'm asking her the right questions, she starts to put distance between us. She starts to walk away from me and put distance between us because she can't answer those questions. Okay? She can't tell me who sent her. Jesus is the Lord. She can't tell me who sent her. And so as she walks away and she's trying to answer the question the best way she knows how, and she's struggling, right? She's struggling. I look at her from head to toe and I see that her body changed. Her eyes are back to normal, but now her body's changed. Now she's taller than what she was, and she's extremely slim. And the person who I thought she was not that slim. That girl's not that slim. She's not that tall. So I'm like, at this point, I know she's lying. I know she's lying, and she's still talking, trying to explain everything. But it don't matter what comes out of her mouth because I see for myself that she is not who she said she was. She's been completely exposed, and I could feel in my feelings. I could feel her feelings. It was taking everything in her to keep up that form. She was pretending to look like someone else, and it was taking everything in her to keep her her eye colors from going back dark, so when she got her eyes to go back to normal, her height grew, and then she got real slim. It's like it was taking everything in her to try to keep up that facade, right? That lie of pretending to be someone she was not. She couldn't do it anymore. It was like her body wouldn't even allow her to anymore, okay? All right, y'all. So that was a lot. Now let me break this down. So the dream took place in the kitchen. God was showing me this took place at an old place. God is calling us out of old places, right? It took place in the kitchen. He referred to it as an at an old place because this was the home I grew up in. He also showed me that this space that the prodigals have been in, where he is now shedding light on and bringing exposure to, right? This is the place that they are growing in. Jesus is Lord. Some of y'all who are waiting on prodigals for marriage, y'all may have hated the space they have been in, especially if they've been with someone else. They may have been very hard for you, but God said this is the place where they grew in, right? They coming out of this space, they're gonna be grown up. That kid, the house we were in a dream, that was the home that I grew up in into adulthood, okay? He's saying they're gonna grow from this. They're gonna grow so much. This is the place, the things they went through there, that is gonna cause them to grow. Okay, and then, also the kitchen is a place of preparation. Jesus is Lord. I probably should have shared this at the end, but I'm just going to share it now. One of the reasons for me sharing this is God wants you to be prepared. He's letting you know what he's doing right now because he wants you to be prepared on your end for what you need to do, as far as your part is. So it took place in the kitchen for preparation. The things I wanted to share with her were personal. They are very private. I could not share this with anyone. He was showing me that these prodigals thought, he referred to them as counterfeits. This girl was an example of a counterfeit. They thought that was the person they could share their life with. They thought that was the person they could share their dreams with. I wanted to share a very personal dream with her that I can't share with everyone because it's not safe to share with everyone. You have to be careful who you share the things that God shows you with, especially pertaining to your purpose, okay? I want to share some dreams with her. God was showing me your prodigal thought the prodigals, some of them thought these were the places they could grow in, they could build in, they could share things, their dreams with. And the answer she would give me, if she was the person who I thought she was, the answers that she would be capable of giving me could have been life-changing for me because it could have helped me better understand some things. It could have helped me grow in my gifting. Jesus is Lord. For y'all who are waiting on kingdom marriage and you know the person is a prodigal, you're going to help them grow in their gifting, okay? She was pretending to be you. Now, if she was who she said she was, she could have answered my questions. I could have trusted her with information I can't trust other people with, and she could have helped me grow in my gifting, okay? But she wasn't you, so she can't help them grow. Jesus is Lord. Okay, so the next part, I was debating on if I should share these things with her. God was showing me that the prodigals have been debating, that person. This is how it started out. They were debating that person, if they can share life with them, if that is where they're supposed to be. And apply this to however God shows it to you. I just got to keep it in this one area or this video will be super long. But for y'all who are waiting on prodigal children, or, you know, just different people, whoever God brings to mind for this word, apply it for that situation. Okay. But so I was debating on if I should share it with her, if she was the one I could share it with. Okay. I was thinking about missed opportunities as well, and about how much time had passed, right? God was showing me that they've been thinking about that. The prodigals have been thinking about all the time that's been wasted, the missed opportunities. They cannot afford to waste any more time. So they need to know. They need to know. They have questions that they have needed answers to, and they need to know. So right before I was going to share this with her and trust that she was who she said she was, I saw her eyes change. I saw the darkness in her, right? Parts of her began to get exposed before I could even go off and share that with her. So God showed me the counterfeit. And that counterfeit could be a person, a thing, whatever has had that prodigal out there like that for this long, whatever. That thing is starting to reveal the darkness in it. That thing is starting to show its hand. It's already showing its hand. Let me say that. So the first time her eyes changed, right? He said some of the prodigals, God already exposed this person to them partially. God already partially showed this person some things that ain't right about them, right? So when I saw her eyes change colors, I backed off. I backed away and put space between me and her. Mind you, I'm still talking to her, but it's space between me and her because I'm like, that's not right. You know, your eyes turning black, that's not right, right? And so God was saying once he showed them these things about these people, they did put distance between them two for a little while. They may have left. They may have broken up with that person, or they may have, you know, put distance between them because they can't deny what they saw. I couldn't deny that her eyes turned black and I saw darkness in them. I couldn't deny that. But when I put space between us, I made up excuses and reasons for why her eyes could have turned black, right? Thinking she was who I thought she was. You know, that person, she's under a lot of attack. She was never the prophetic voice that I followed, the girl that she was pretending to be. She was never her. So I was making up excuses thinking she was someone that she wasn't, right? Even though God exposed some things about these places and these people to these prodigals, they were still making excuses for them because in their mind, they thought that was the one. They thought that was something that they wasn't. And y'all, I'm trying not to make this video too long, but I had to bring this up. God brought up the twin flame relationships, okay? Some of them thought they was in twin flame relationships. I have to give y'all another video about that stuff because like I told y'all, God speaks to me through numbers, but prophetic numbers. When I first started seeing numbers, I took the wrong route because I went through Google. I did look at angel numbers. I didn't know what to look at. I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know why I was seeing numbers all the time. And I was just searching. And I looked in some of the wrong places and got caught up in some of the wrong things. And in the beginning of that, I thought I was in a twin flame relationship. I have to make another video on that later though, okay? But he was showing me that some of them thought they were in a twin flame relationship. And he's been talking to me a lot about that at the beginning of this year. From what he's shown me or whatever, I mentioned several times, y'all, how the enemy wants to be God so bad. So he mimics everything God does. Everything God does, the enemy mimics. So you know how we talk about these kingdom marriages, these kingdom marriages to where, these God-ordained marriages to where you're going to build and do a lot for the kingdom of God. You're going to play a big role in bringing the kingdom of heaven on earth, right? These kingdom marriages are being brought together for purpose. You're going to be happy in them, but there's a lot of purpose behind this. You have work to do together. Just like God has these God-ordained marriages he's bringing together, the enemy loves to mimic him. From what he's shown me, the twin flames are the opposite, okay? God is trying to pair you with the best person for you to do work with, the best person he has for you, like the Adam to your Eve, right? The twin flame is the worst person. That's the person that the enemy is trying to get you to stay with or whatever. That's the counterfeit. God showed me as them being opposites. That's the one that That's the best person that the enemy could put in your life to have you open up a whole bunch of doors to where the devil can run in and out of it. Those relationships are normally toxic, and you're usually dealing with an extremely narcissistic, oh Lord have mercy, narcissistic person. But that's something God showed me, and I had to elaborate on that with y'all in another video. So some of them, they thought that person was that God ordained spouse, but really they were entertaining. Y'all, they've been in witchcraft and all kind of stuff, and that's why God said y'all need to keep them in prayer. That's why God was saying y'all need to keep them in prayer. But let me continue, because this video will be so long if I don't continue. Okay, so after, I backed away and I gave her space because I saw, the darkness in her eyes. I then made up an excuse for why I could be there. God showed me after he exposed that to the prodigals, they made excuses and they went back to them, right? Because they thought they were someone that they weren't, okay? So then again, but now they cannot unsee what they saw before. So now they're not all the way in like that. When they came, after they saw a little bit of that, they came back. But when I came back, I still didn't share my dreams with her because I didn't fully trust her, because her eyes went dark. And even though I made up an excuse for her, I had some questions now because I didn't fully trust her no more. And so that's what God said. Now they were asking more questions. They didn't fully, trust it like that anymore. And when they start asking the right questions, who sent you? Jesus is Lord. If she was the person I thought she was, God would have sent her. That would have been a divine connection. Okay? God didn't send her through my back door. This girl in the dream, this counterfeit, God didn't send her through my back door. The enemy did. So when I asked her who sent her, she couldn't answer me. And another thing, the reason she was able to come through my back door in that old home we lived in, the front door was always locked. Sometimes the back door was unlocked. So God was showing me that counterfeit came through their life through a back door because it was open. That was a door that was accessible, that was not always locked. So I was asking her, how did you know to use that door? In a dream, I asked her, how did you know to come that route? Right? The more questions I asked her, the more distance she put between us because she couldn't answer them. Okay? She couldn't answer them, and she didn't expect me to ask those kind of questions of her. And as she backed away, I was able to see more of her, to where even though she was trying to come up with answers, it didn't even matter no more because I saw clear as day, this is not the person I thought she was. This girl's not this tall. She don't look like that. Like, her whole body type changed. She could not keep it together anymore. And God referred to it as a masquerading spirit. And she could no longer, he said they were operating a masquerading spirit, pretending to be something they're not, and they could no longer pretend. He wouldn't even allow it. She couldn't shapeshift anymore. And so this is what God said was happening with them, okay? He's revealed to them, these masquerading spirits, he's revealed to them they're not who they said they were. So before they could probably explain their way out of it, the first time they explained their way out of it, this time they couldn't explain their way out of it because it was right in front of them, clear as day. And they could not, it was right in front of me that this girl's body just changed and stretched. And it didn't matter what she said, okay? So then the dream shifts. Once she's exposed, and I'm like, okay, you can stop explaining because I know you're not her. Once she's exposed, the dream shifts and we're no longer in that kitchen. Now we're outside. And it's like all this open space and I'm leaning on this big rock. It's a big rock. And I'm like, I know it's not you. I know you're not her. And then she finally admits it because she has no choice to, because she's caught red-handed, because she can't shape shift anymore. I told her she didn't have to lie. Why did she lie and come in my kitchen pretending to be someone she wasn't? And she starts explaining, but I am completely tuned her out because now I'm deep in thought and I'm like, who sent her? I'm back to those questions again. Who sent her? Why she was there, and I'm leaning on a rock and she's standing in front of me explaining herself, but I'm over it because I'm deep in thought. on some questions that a woke person would ask, a person who is awake would ask, okay? And so that was basically the dream. And some points God showed me here. Jesus is Lord. I was observing for once and paying attention to things I normally don't. He was showing me that he's been causing the prodigals to pay attention more. They're being more observing things more and not letting things just slide by. And when I was leaning on the rock, I heard the rock of my salvation. Now they're going to be leaning on God. God is going to be their rock and their salvation, and they're going to need to lean on him. And it won't be long. Oh yeah, he said it won't be long. And this is not easy for them. So keep them in your prayers. And he said he's establishing a firm foundation in them. Okay. So the way God showed me this too, in a previous dream, he showed me that a lot of the prodigals will come home brokenhearted. So whatever has been exposed to them broke their heart. This is a part of their breaking process. And they made excuses for it before. They weren't seeing clearly before, but God made sure that it was exposed to them in a way that it could not be denied. It could not be denied. And they saw it for what it was. And it does not matter how much the person tries to explain. They see the person for what they are. I tuned her out. She was giving me explanation, but I completely tuned her out because I'm in my head now. A lot of them are trying to figure out what they've been doing with their life because what they thought was one thing wasn't. And now they got to try to figure out what's real, right? Now they had to ask important questions that they should have been asking themselves all along. So God wants y'all to prepare because whoever this is for won't be long. If this is a prodigal that a prodigal child that you're receiving home, God wants to make sure you're making room, you're prepared. They coming home brokenhearted, for you to be keeping them in your prayers because they're going to be a little sensitive because of what they've gone through. They're going to need help healing. And you pray and you ask God to guide you on how you can help in their healing process. And for those, for us as being a prodigal spouse or whatever, he wants you to prepare because everything is going to happen really fast. And just like your life is going to change overnight, but understand they are coming home brokenhearted. You should be keeping them in prayer like now. And just to be prepared if this is for you, okay? So this dream was just basically an update on what's going on, that he is working. There's been another awakening. And he said everything's out in the open now. Another reason the dream shifted to where we were standing outside, we were literally out in the open. Once the lie was revealed, everything was out in the open. And now we were outside, right? And now they're free because they're no longer held back by a lie. A lie has kept them bound. A lie has kept them in bondage. A lot of them were holding back based upon lies. And once God reveals the lies and they finally accept the truth, they'll be free, okay? Just like the prodigal son in the Bible and scripture, when he came to himself, when he got to that pig's pen, he got to a place where he came to himself. And it was hard and it was painful, but they had to come to a place where they came to themselves, okay? So a lot of them are brokenhearted right now. Keep them in prayer, y'all. That was the message. That was the dream. God said heartbreak and exposure are taking place. And now they're awake. They were asleep before, but now they're awake. Now they're awake. And they're just, some of this stuff that's been exposed to them was heavy duty. This stuff was major. So they're trying to process what was exposed to them. They're leaning on God right now, as they should be, and God is establishing that firm foundation. And God reminded me of when I first surrendered to Him. Y'all remember, the times when y'all first surrendered to God. I was broken, somebody. I was completely broken when I surrendered to God, and that's what He referred this to. They had to go through their breaking process. And it's been hard and painful, but everything's out in the open now, okay? All right, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. And y'all keep them in y'all prayers and just ask God to guide you in how He wants you to prepare and what He wants you to do with this information. All right, I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Okay, you guys. So something that God was bringing to mind while I was listening to this dream was, this is something He told me about a week or so ago, that we needed to pray. We needed to pray that the spirit of truth will be revealed in every area of our lives, okay? That was something he literally told me about a week or so ago. That's still in season, okay? So while I was listening to this dream, that's something he kept bringing it up to me to tell y'all to pray, okay? Pray that the spirit of truth will be revealed in every single area of their life. Okay, and I just needed to look it up in my notes again. God said the spirit of truth is more powerful than any lie, okay? That's the spirit that God operates out of. The spirit of truth is more powerful than any lie. And we know that the enemy is a liar. He loves to lie, and he keeps people held in bondage and captivity based on lies. A lot of us, when we were running from God, or before we surrendered to God, or before we even had any understanding about God, we were held captive by lies, right? The spirit of truth is, man, it's a major part of being reborn. It's like having new sight because you see everything differently, okay? It's a major part of that. But so God said the spirit of truth is more powerful than any lie. So in this season, be praying and ask God to reveal the spirit of truth in every area of your life. And he was pertaining this to this word, this dream as well. Pray that God will reveal the spirit of truth in every area of their lives. Whoever that person is that God has been leading you to cover in prayer, that prodigal, that person that's been in the dark, that God is bringing out in the light, and he's exposing different things in their life, okay? And so for some people, this person has, like, they have come to the end of themselves. They had a breaking, right? An actual literal breaking. A breaking is different than just them experiencing some pain, like disappointment. Oh, that didn't go my way. Oh, that hurt me. Oh, that made me cry. Or that hurt my feelings. Or, man, that was a betrayal. A breaking is different. Okay, so some people can have multiple pains. God reminds me of my situation, like before I surrendered to him. I've been hurt multiple times, right? But none of those times fully broke me. It didn't bring me to the end of myself when I was finally tired of doing things my way. When I didn't have any more fight to be trying to run from God and pursue things in this world that were constantly destroying me. My breaking literally brought me to the end of myself, where I finally had to come to God and say, okay, I'm done. So giving him my life, I told him he can have all of me now, whatever was left of me. Because when I surrendered to God, I was in pieces. I had been hurt so bad. I was finally in pieces. I had reached my breaking. Okay, so some of them, they're experiencing that, or they're about to. There's like I know we like at the end of June. Well, I'm recording this. What's today, y'all? I think today is June the 29th. I don't know if I'm going to post this today or tomorrow, or I'm going to post it when God tell me to post it. But he put it before me, so I just know I needed to add this recording while it was fresh. But anyway, so a lot of them will be coming to the end of themselves, experiencing that breaking. Some of them is happening now and will be happening throughout July, and for some, the fall season. But these are some prayer points to pray that the spirit of truth will be revealed in every area of their life. God also said you can pray for the exposure. Everything needs to be exposed. Whatever has been hidden needs to be brought to light. Okay? And even though God says he will do the exposing, our prayers carry weight. Our prayers are powerful. The prayers of a righteous man or woman availeth much. So God brought to mind different, like, people in the Bible who petitioned him, right? They petitioned him over and over again. They cried out to him multiple times, and he heard their cry, their continuous cry, okay? So even if God is going to do something eventually, when we pour our heart to him and we consistently pray without ceasing, that moves him. That moves something in him to where he may move in a certain situation a little swifter, okay? For those who are ready. So if this, and Jesus is Lord, y'all. I meant to make this quick, but we just gonna flow with it. If this is for somebody who's waiting for kingdom marriage, I just want to make sure I make this very clear to you. I'm not saying pray and keep asking God for that person because you want to a spouse really bad. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be married. God said it's not good that man should be alone, and we have work to do. So we need a partner to work with, right? We need a teammate. So there's nothing wrong with that. But something I've had to learn the hard way, which is why I have to share this with you, is God has to be first. So even if you pray over and over again for God to heal that person, open their eyes so they can, so y'all can be married, if you haven't done the work that God has told you to do individually, it's still going to be waiting, because God's going to be waiting on you, because there's some things he has to do through you first. So I just got to add that, okay, you guys? I got to add that part. But for those who you have been walking with God, you've surrendered to him, you've allowed him to wash you, to purify you, to position you into purpose, right? Because you have your own individual identity. You have gifts he's given you. He's given you assignments. He's told you to put your hands to work on some things. Start the business. Start that channel. Create this, create that. He's giving you ideas, and you've been implementing them. You've been following it step by step. It has not been comfortable. You've been having to face some fears. He's called y'all out of certain jobs, out of certain buildings, out of certain places, right? You've been following him. You've been letting him do the work he needs to do in you. Hear me? This is who I'm talking to. God is first in your life. And he's told you to prepare for this spouse, because you know it's in time and season for you. You have your own personal relationship with him. You don't listen to prophetic words to hear from God. You talk to God yourself. You understand this is confirmation for you. This is just a confirmation. This doesn't take the place of your relationship with him. Okay? That's who I'm talking to when I say this. You can pray for God to reveal the spirit of truth. That thing will move even more speedily, because you're ready. You're ready to receive. Okay? Some of these people, when they are awakened to these things, it's going to hit them so hard. They're going to need a teammate to help afterwards. And God will guide you through that process for you, okay? Jesus is Lord. And for those that, if you're not at that point yet, just keep sticking it out with God. Just keep going with him. Just keep flowing with him. Lord have mercy, y'all. This, Jesus is Lord, y'all. I don't really like to share kingdom marriage messages, because it's so much more to say. And I really want people to get what's for them. And in this journey, if you're waiting on kingdom marriage, people can experience disappointment if they don't have understanding of what God is doing. So God washes us, he cleanses us, he purifies us, he prepares us to be wives. He prepares us to be brides, first to himself and then to a mate. And for the man listening, he prepares you to be a husband. But what he's first doing is preparing all of us to be a bride first, the bride of Christ. So he's not going to bring you somebody and you don't even know him. Y'all don't know each other. Where's the relationship? You feel what I'm saying? So I just got to put that disclaimer, because, I just got to, because this is a kingdom marriage word, and I know it draws a lot of people in, and I just want to make sure you understand, who this, Jesus is Lord. I just want to make sure it's understood, okay? But I love y'all so much. That was what God added, that the spirit of truth, pray that the spirit of truth will be revealed in every single area of your life and their life, and that things that need to be exposed will be exposed, and it will no longer remain hidden. And that this will continually be going on for them. God may lead you different ways to pray for them. Even if it's space between y'all right now, he may still lead you different ways to cover them in prayer, show you different areas where they're struggling in. And just continue doing the work that God has given you, because whoever this is for, you already got an assignment. So just continue doing what God has told you to do, step by step, one thing at a time. God tells you to do something, you do that, then he gives you the next thing. Sometimes that, from my experience, that's how God does me. Like, he'll give me instructions when I follow he may give me one thing at first, and then I do the one thing he told me to do. And then he may give me 2 more things after that. But he's waiting on me to do what he told me to do first, okay? So if some of y'all are in a place too where you're like, well, man, I don't know what to do. If God is giving you anything to do at all and you haven't done it, make sure you are putting your hands to that. So, that's what you do. No matter what it seems like, it may seem like it makes no sense for the season you're in, but just whatever God gives you, always just, do it, get it done, obey. It may be uncomfortable. The enemy may be coming up against you while you try to do it. Pray, ask God for strength, guidance. Fasting is powerful if he leads you to fast and push through it. Jesus is Lord, you guys. But I just want to share this because this is in season for whoever this is for. And I'm sharing, I didn't even mean to say all this, but whoever this is for, you may need it. Because if God is bringing your kingdom marriage promise together right now, because this is for somebody. You hear me? This is for some people. If he's bringing this together for you right now, the enemy is going to try to come up against it. And that's not nothing to be afraid of. That's just something to be prepared for. Okay? Because these marriages are going to be powerful. So as you're trying to do what God told you to do, there will be some pushback. But you use your powers, your weapons, fasting, prayer, worship, getting your word. The spirit of truth is so powerful. You need to be covered in it. Okay? Okay, you guys. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I'm praying for y'all. Whoever this is for, continue to walk in step with God and pray for that person as God leads you to, and cover yourself in prayer as well. Sometimes we can pour into everybody else around us and we forget to pour back into ourselves. So make sure you're getting refilled as well, okay? Rest is still a part of the process whenever God leads you to rest, all right? All right, you guys, I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. And I guess that extra was for somebody, but I love y'all so much. I truly pray this blessed whoever it was for. I love y'all, and y'all be blessed.